Hi and welcome to TMG Movie Reviews. I'm Rick.
I'm Andrew, and today we have the pleasure of discussing for the Marvel Universe Iron Man 3 from 2013, directed and co-written by the fantastic Shane Black, and once again with Robert Downey Jr. reprising his role as Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. This was the third in the Iron Man trilogy, and focuses on Tony's attempts to defeat the Mandarin, played by Ben Kingsley.
What did you think of the killer?
Oh, I thought he was sort of a bit stock villain. Oh yes, yeah. And then when you've received, we won't say the twist if you haven't seen it, but I loved the twist. I thought the twist was just because I didn't see it coming, and I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So I think him and as well as Guy Pearce as Killian are very good. That I do think Ben Kingsley deserved the honour because it's just fun. He's fantastic. What do you think? Because you love the Marvel Universe. What did you?
Yeah, I mean, this is it's Robert Downey Jr. and in by this point he knows this role so well. There's 3 films in, and he just knows the character so well that he sort of takes risks with it to the point where like he's so damaged and so vulnerable from like the effects of the Avengers in this movie, and it shows he's suffering from panic attacks. You know, just things that you wouldn't normally see a superhero do.
Yeah,
and especially Iron Man. Yeah. And yeah, it's so good to watch because most of the film is focused on Tony Stark. I mean, it's an Iron Man movie, but I'd say Iron Man, you see him at the start of the movie and towards the end of the movie, but this film is sort of showing you Tony Stark and how he is a superhero in his own right, and how sort of he can get by without the complete suit and just sort of with his own wits and his own sort of engineering and tech skills, and
the brilliant scene in the town when he's fighting the robots. I love that when he hasn't got the suit. He's just sort of he makes he's in the cafe and uses the microwave and stuff like that. It's brilliant. I also love at that point where Rick talks about where he's having the flashbacks to New York. He's left his Iron Man suit parked outside the diner. It's like you don't see that in superhero movies. You never saw Batman park the Batmobile outside McDonald's, so I went and got a milkshake. You know, that's pretty cool, I think.
It's just how brash sort of Tony Stark is, isn't it?
Yeah, he just leaves it parked outside, someone nicks it, doesn't matter, he make another one, you know.
Yeah, there is a lot of Iron Man suits in this movie.
Yeah, there's billions.
Yeah, there's loads of them. And like, literally by the end of the movie, they're blowing up like fireworks. They look so easy to break. I mean, more than any other Iron Man film or any Avengers film even. The sort of suit looks like it could take a beating. In this one, honestly, it's like by the end of the film, it's like they're made out of Lego. Yeah,
they're literally going through Iron Man suit after Iron Man suit. They're flying solo. They're doing this. They're doing that. Then you've got a War Machine using his suit. His suit's falling apart. They literally cook War Machine in his suit at one point, which I never thought was possible. So it's just. Where do you think it goes in terms of the other two? Because there's Iron Man 1, which everyone loves. Iron Man 2, which everyone hated, and Iron Man 3, which.
So it picks up from Iron Man 2, definitely. It's definitely better than Iron Man 2.
I sort of have a soft spot for Iron Man 2. I don't think it's as good as Iron Man 1.
I don't hate it as much as everybody else.
2 is okay. I just think maybe it's just maybe a bit too talky.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rourke's villain isn't the greatest in the world. But yeah, I really do. I think it's good, but yeah, I think this is my favourite of the 3. As much as like Iron Man itself.
It's definitely up there. It's between this and 1. Definitely.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he sort of plays off the first Avengers movie, and that it shows sort of the effect of that sacrifice that he made when he went into that wormhole thinking he was on like a one-way suicide mission, and then to come back and have to deal with that, and he's like suffering from nightmares and things like that, and it's sort of not a place where a superhero film generally goes, but he is a human being, and
you don't see superheroes with post-traumatic stress disorder. I think it's quite interesting. It's something that you imagine not all superheroes have to go through. But it's never explored before. That's credit to Shane Black for putting that in. I don't think Jon Favreau ever would have ever gone in that direction.
What did you think of Guy Pearce breathing fire?
It was okay. For me, Guy Pearce is. I always think of Guy Pearce.
That was the bit that sort of I was like, really? He can breathe fire?
Yeah, I always think Guy Pearce since Memento, he's not really done a really good.
I love Memento.
Film. I love Memento. I think that's a film we might review in the future. And it's a brilliant film, but he hasn't had a role as good as Leonard in Memento. Anyone could have done this. Why did you specifically want to do this? Was it the money? Was it the fact you just fancied being in a Marvel movie? He's good, but I think really the standout villain is Kingsley.
And if you're going to be in a Marvel movie, obviously an Iron Man movie is the one that started them. So and you're acting against Robert Downey Jr. So I can see him taking it on just for that. I mean, he's not a bad villain. He's not sort of on the calibre. He couldn't be in an Avengers villain.
No, he's not as good as Bridges years ago as Obadiah. I don't think.
It's nice that he has that sort of. They give him that history against Tony Stark and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the breathing fire was a bit silly.
Just a bit like, no, not. It's a 4-star from me. I loved the film. I loved Downey's performance. I think the writing is spot on. Some of the acting, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not, any other actor could have played those parts.
Of which part? Of Robert Downey Jr.?
No, just the Guy Pearce character.
Oh right, I was going to say I don't think anyone could have done as good a job as Robert Downey Jr.
The only other person I think who could have maybe pulled it off was Michael Keaton, but that would have had to have been years ago.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have, not in the last 10, 20 years, but maybe back in the day, if they'd, instead of a Batman, they'd done an Iron Man film, Keaton could have done it. But then I think Keaton can do anything, I just think he's incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 from me, I love it. My favourite of the Iron Man trilogy.
Yeah, so I'll give it a 4 as well. It's definitely worth watchable to see such sort of a damaged lead in Robert Downey Jr. and just sort of see what he has to go throughout the movie. I mean, it's a really interesting story. It's just from his point of view. So yeah, for me it's 4, definitely worth watching.
Yeah, definitely, and check out Ben Kingsley in this film. He's absolutely brilliant. I'll fly the flag for him now. In any film he does, I think, based on this. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching.
Bye bye now.